Hello and welcome to the Daily Space for today, Tuesday, March 31st, 2020. I am your host, Dr. Pamela Gay, and I am here to put science in your brains. On what should be the last day of March, we'd like to share that this year, there will be no April 1st episode of the Daily Space. Instead, we have decreed that tomorrow will be March 32nd, and Rocket Wednesday will bring you no foolishness in trickery. This is because, let's face it, sometimes you just want a bit of normalcy. In general, the universe doesn't really do normal. Every galaxy seems to find its own way to be the biggest or the smallest or the flattest or the roundest. If there's an adjective to be had, there's probably a galaxy to be the most or least of that descriptor. At least this is true in the eyes of some astronomer. In today's first story, we look at the galaxy SDSS J1042 plus 1646. This system was spectroscopically observed with the Hubble Space Telescope. This means that precise motions of different kinds of gases could be measured, allowing the velocity of the galaxy itself to be compared to the velocities of material streaming away. SDSS J1042 plus 1646 is an active galaxy with a feeding black hole that has an associated accretion disk that glows so brightly that we call this system a quasar. In looking at the materials flowing out of this system's jets, astronomers could calculate that 5 million trillion gigawatts of energy were escaping. This is 100 times more energy than stars in the Milky Way produce. What's particularly cool is this system has been under observation for a number of years, and while the material was seen flowing at 1,550 kilometers per second in 2011, new observations in 2017 show the gas moving at 21,050 kilometers per second. This is an 8% increase. This energy is associated with the increased energy of the accretion disk. And this is exactly the kind of energy that we've talked about before when discussing how galaxies essentially turn off by blasting everything around them. This disk is giving off so much energy that it is triggering star formation. And whatever material doesn't form stars is simply getting pushed away. When the current epoch of activity, both the active feeding of the black hole and the associated star formation, when this ends, this system is going to take a long siesta. Star formation will effectively be over and the black hole will starve unless someday it's reawakened through a collision with another galaxy. While we'd theorized systems like this exist, it's amazing to see them caught in the act of energetically killing everything around them. And it wasn't just this one galaxy. This system, well, it's one of 6. It was discussed in one of 6 papers in a special issue of the Astrophysical Journal Supplement series that was released on March 16th. These papers document a myriad of additional, less energetic, but still fascinating systems. We're going to link to all of this on dailyspace.org so you can explore these papers if you want to, well, see how energetic the universe can get. Now, let's face it, we could all use a little positive excitement right now. While I can't offer you anything amazing at this very moment, we do have 2 things that we need to be prepared for. The first is the flyby of the BepiColombo mission on April 10th at 6:25 a.m. Central European Time. This interplanetary spacecraft will approach within 12,700 kilometers of Earth. This will put it significantly closer to us than geostationary satellites and will allow it to use the Earth's gravity to change its orbit and help it rendezvous with Mercury in late 2025. If you are in equatorial or southern latitudes and you have a small telescope, you can point your telescope at just the right place and catch this spacecraft as it zips on by. Observing tools and information on what ESA is going to be doing during the encounter will all be linked to from dailyspace.org. Now, if there are any streams to watch, I do want to let you know we will be hosting watch parties right here on twitch.tv/CosmoQuestX. We'll have more on this tomorrow as guest host Gordon Dewis reviews the effects of COVID-19 on the mission operations. He will be hosting our Rocket Wednesday while Annie recovers from the creeping crud. Now, April and May actually have a lot of potentially cool things to offer. The Comet Atlas continues to brighten in the northern sky. The southern hemisphere had Comet McDot not a few years ago, and it is finally our time. This bright comet is readily visible in small telescopes as it arcs away from the Big Dipper. You can find its position in software like Stellarium as long as you have applied recent updates. While it is cool that it is visible in small telescopes now, what is even better is that in late April and early May, this comet has the potential to become the first major naked eye comet of this century. According to Earth and Sky, some models predict that this comet will max out between +2 and -6 magnitudes. This makes its total light somewhere between the brightness of Betelgeuse and brighter than anything else regularly in the sky. Note, I said total brightness. That light will be spread out over the coma of the comet, so it's not like you'll be able to read by the light of this comet, but it still has truly amazing potential to add a reason to go outside and look up. Fair warning though, comets have a tendency to periodically just plain fall apart, and sometimes they fizzle out. We make no promises, but I give it good odds that we will finally get ourselves a naked eye comet. And that's all I've got for today. As we've been doing so much lately, I want to remind you that as part of helping to keep all of us a little more occupied during these really weird times, we're going to be hosting a lot of additional content on our Twitch channel. And, we want to remind you that CosmoQuest has an active community on Discord where you can talk science, get involved in volunteer activities, and even find other people to join you in playing online games. You can find links to everything that is going on at cosmoquest.org. And that's it. Thank you all for being here. Today's script was written by me, Dr. Pamela Gay, and The Daily Space is produced by the ever-fabulous Susie Murph. The Daily Space is a product of the Planetary Science Institute, a 501c3 nonprofit dedicated to exploring our solar system and beyond. We are here thanks to the generous contributions of people like you. The best way you can support us is through patreon.com/CosmoQuestX. Like us? Please share us. You never know whose life you can change by adding a daily dose of science. All right, I am now going to answer your questions. Let's see what we've got. Okay, scrolling up to the top because that's what I do. Let's see. I'm going to actually move this closer. I think I scrolled back into the prior stream because it's that kind of a day. Hello again, Michael. It is not still Monday. It simply feels like it is still Monday, Guido. It simply feels like it is still Monday. And yes, we have canceled April 1st. There shall be a March 32nd. Let's see what all. Yes, AstroWise, the image I showed you. Thank you, Lancy, for the bits. And thank you, The Way It Goes, for the bits. Let me bring up DogCam and give you the cutest thank you I can. Hi. Do you want this? Sit. 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 He's not gonna sit. All right, fine. Can you sit? There we go. There we go. Here you go. Whoops, sorry, Stella. Didn't mean to scare you. Stella was curled up, nestled in the corner here, back beside the chair in the wall. Not quite sure what she is hiding from at the moment. Thank you both for the bits, and thank you, Edge Miriam, for the follow. Let's see. What all do we have in here? I love the phrase, starve a black hole, feed a nebula. That's how you get stars. That is how you get stars. So our Arctopus arc, they updated the models. They had previously said -4, and now they're saying potentially -6. With comets, you have to keep an eye on them because they have a way of changing behavior. And as we get more and more information as they come deeper into the solar system, well, it gets easier to predict just what might happen if they don't, die. Comets do that. And AstroWise is reminding us that we have a place for you all to share your images over in our Discord. And I want to see your images. So please share. Do like AstroWise. Share. That's amazing, James Napper, that you saw a meteor storm a few years ago. They're really beautiful. I can't wait to get my hammock set up and enjoy the sky before the mosquitoes get too horrible. So Henny's Vorverb asks, do most comets come from the Kuiper belt or the Oort cloud? It depends on what kind of comet. So by numbers, if you're talking about icy chunks hurled into the inner solar system, Kuiper belt, that's where they come from. That region of space from roughly just inside Neptune's orbit to about 55 AU. But we do occasionally get long period comets that are coming from the Oort cloud. And we also we're learning occasionally, visitors from other solar systems. Those are the rarest of all. Let's see what else we have. Ambi is right. Stay inside and stay safe, everyone. Stay in your yards. It's okay to go on your patio. It's okay to go in your backyard. Sunlight is vitamin D. Just saying. Thank you, Arc, for sharing your Atlas integration result on Discord. Thank you. Ooh, I look forward to the time lapse. Those are fun. So Larry asks, does the comet have an anti-tail? I'm not quite sure what you mean. Thank you, the way it goes, for the bits. Thank you. Thank you so much. So I'm not quite sure what you mean by an anti-tail, Larry. Comets generally have two different tails. There's a dust tail and an ion tail. And they're often at two slightly different angles because the solar wind is able to push some particles stronger than others. One of the crazy things about comets that we often forget, and I'm going to pretend this stuffed squirrel is a comet because it has a tail. So if my microphone is the sun and this is our comet tail, as the comet orbits the sun, the tail always stays pointed away from the sun. This is Captain Chuck. This is the other Captain Chuck. There are CosmoQuest mascots that I found while cleaning the attic. So it's the solar wind that's pushing the comet tails. And the momentum, the motion of the comet causes this slight difference in angle between the two different tails. Now, There is no tail that's pointed directly at the sun, if that's what you mean by an anti-tail, but there definitely is two different tails. Hi, Shillaquiz. I'm going to call you Shill. If you give me a phonetic spelling, I'll do better. Welcome. Astrowise is right. No equipment needed to enjoy meteors. Just comfy chair and blanket and eyeballs. I love my hammock. I absolutely adore my hammock for things like this. A sleeping bag and a sleeping pad out in the backyard on clean grass also works. Laying down is just a really pleasant way to not hurt your neck. Lawn chairs also work. I actually know one person who drug a reclining chair, a lazy boy, into his backyard so that his mom could better observe the solar eclipse. So she wouldn't have to lean back and look up. That is just like one of my favorite feel-good stories of astronomy. So the way it goes says, I have a question on mirages. Would you see them on Mars, which has a very different atmosphere? Also, what would they look like on Earth if we had more than one sun? So mirages occur when light gets steeply refracted, bent, that's a fancy word for bent, as it passes through extremely hot air that is directly above asphalt or sand. So you get them on hot highways, you get them out in the desert, and the way they bend, they make, well, essentially the sky appear to be directly on the asphalt or the desert, creating the appearance of water. This is particularly bad if you're thirsty in the desert and think you see water when all you're seeing is hotter sand. This kind of a thermodynamic effect would happen, but not as strongly on Mars, where you do get the steep differences in temperature between the air and the ground, but you don't have as much air, so not as much light's going to get bent by the not as much air. So yes, but they're going to be wimpy. I hope that answered your question. And if Earth had more than one sun. If Earth had more than one sun, it depends on where the suns are on the sky. There's a precise alignment you need between you, the sun, and the hot air to get the mirage. And I'm not sure, I don't remember what that angle is. So if you had suns in two radically different places on the sky, you could potentially get multiple mirages as you looked around. Again, really bad if you're in the desert. She'll temeritires outside. I don't know what those are, but I'm glad that you got a picture of the moon. Please feel free to share it in our Discord. We love to share each other's astronomical success stories. What was the swirly image an artist's representation? So let me pull the swirly image back up. So is this the swirly image? This is a quasar. Or were you talking about the BepiColombo video here? So here, the swirliness is the magnetic field of Mercury. This is just showing, this is not the video I meant to embed. All right, we have an image of BepiColombo's two different parts. It's two spacecraft flying together to eventually get to Mercury. And they're going through the magnetic field. This image, you have a galaxy in the center, and these are the jets coming out of the accretion disk surrounding the active black hole. Um, and he's like, now I want squirrel comets. So don't cross the picket line and go buy these on Amazon right now. These are finger puppets that you can get from Amazon, or you can do as I did, and you can go to Amazon and look up who makes these finger puppets and Google what other stores you can get them at. This is my new favorite hobby, is looking up things I may want to buy on Amazon, because it's like this vast library of learning about products. And then I go look up smaller stores I can buy the same things at. I think this makes me a good person via doing terrible things. All right. Thank you, Larry. Oh, thank you, Shell. Thank you. Fenmel writes, Stella knows there's a Cheerio hiding under that chair. I think the real reason that Stella was hiding in the corner, she's not now. I have no clue where she went now, is the compressor in the woodworking shop next door kicked on and made a terrible noise. Looking to see what other questions we might have. Hanny asks, is BepiColombo studying the magnetosphere? What will we learn from that? It is studying the magnetosphere. I don't remember the details. I am terrible about learning about spacecraft before they finally start to get where they're going, because my brain can only hold so much information, and it takes a long time to build spacecraft and get them to their destination. So I mentioned that BepiColombo won't get to Mercury until 2025. They named the spacecraft in 1999. From the day they announced the name to the day it gets to Mercury, an entire generation of humanity will have come into existence. It'll be more than 25 years. So yeah, I'll know a lot about it come 2025. Until then, I'm keeping track of milestones, like it's about to fly past Earth, and I'm really hoping it sends us back a picture of our planet. They do that to check out the cameras on these spacecraft a lot, and it's always cool to have a new perspective on our own planet Earth. Michael asks, is the quasar picture an artist's impression? Why, yes, yeah. Actual images of quasars lack this level of detail. But it's a really cool artist's rendition of a quasar. It makes me want to paint quasars. Fenmel points out, that's how I find books from my local bookstore to order. Yeah, you search for things on Amazon where, let's face it, the profits are going to a few elite people instead of the workers. And instead you support the local bookstore that, well, can build into your local economy. I am a terrible human. Yeah, Ambius, it's hard, and I'm glad you are a software developer, because while they push their software developers, they don't generally abuse them. We all have to do what we have to do to earn money. Let's see. So Michael, what did I not really answer? Hold on, scrolling back upwards. So much conversation going on. Not finding the first part of the question to figure out what I didn't really answer. If you can repeat it, I will try again to answer it. Let's see. Shell just uploaded the best picture he managed to shoot. I will take a look as soon as I'm off of this. Open Cage. I look for books on library webpage. That works too. I usually end up going down rabbit holes. Not going to lie. I'll be looking things up on Goodreads, which takes you to Amazon. And then I go, yeah, it's how I work. Oh, okay. I did answer about the quasar artist's impression. Yes, it is a painting, digital painting. It appears that was put together by the research team. All right. So let's see. All right. I now am going to I am going to now record our podcast. I am going to get some lunch. Then I'm going to see what fires I have to put out in terms of, oh my God, I have so much work to do and so many amazing people helping me. And I'm going to do everything I can to hang out online and keep the science flowing. I may not be streaming. I'm probably not going to be streaming, but I'll be here in Discord. So hit me up and let's accomplish great things. Once again, this has been the Daily Space. There was a noise. What generated the noise? Thank you, Matt Maniac, for the follow. Thank you so much. So, as a reminder, this episode was written by me, Dr. Pamela Gay, and will be produced by the fabulous Susie Murph. Tomorrow, we will have guest host Gordon Dewis coming to you with the help of David Ballard, who are Instro and Keeper of Maps in the opposite order, who are going to bring you Rocket Wednesday while Annie recovers from the creeping crud. Beyond that, we are a production of the Planetary Science Institute, a 501c3 nonprofit dedicated to exploring our solar system and beyond. We are here simply because you are here and supporting us through your bits, your subs, your patronage at patreon.com/CosmoQuestX, and your volunteer work over, well, on our Discord and from there everywhere else. You keep us going, and we hope to keep you going with science. For now, have a fabulous morning, evening, or afternoon, and wash your hands. Bye-bye, everyone.